PEDIP. What does that stand for? PDIP. From my military days, we used to call it EDIP, and what I've done now is I've called it. This is an excellent skill that I learned along the way, which was P for presentation, E for explanation, D for demonstration, I for imitation, and P for practice. So how does that work then? So for instance, if I was going to say, we're going to do the tennis ball technique, so I would show a picture of the on the presentation of the tennis ball technique, the script. I'd give everyone a copy of script in the room, and I'd get them to look at the board, and then I would read that script, get a client to come out, get one of the delegates to come out and sit on the demonstration seat, and I would do a demonstration. But before that, obviously I'm doing a presentation, I do an explanation, which is why do you need to learn the tennis ball script? So the reason why you need to learn the tennis ball technique is a great way to get someone nice and relaxed before you're about to work with them. What is the tennis ball technique? Tennis ball technique is a light relaxation script designed to get someone in a relaxed state, which will make you a more effective practitioner. Sold, alright? So that's the explanation. Demonstration. Right, we're now going to see a demonstration. Someone sits out here and I do a demonstration, but I read off the board. So I'm going to allow yourself now to allow your eyes to close, and I want you to focus now on a tennis ball. Can you imagine a tennis ball? Can you put a colour on that tennis ball? Can you put a number on that tennis ball? Can you get that tennis ball to spin? And just allow yourself to go deeper and deeper into relaxation. As you see that tennis ball just as it becomes more and more relaxed, you become more and more relaxed. And allow yourself now, come back into the room and notice what you notice. So just gone through the tennis ball script. Right. Any questions on that? Right, what's going to happen now? You're going to work in your pairs, and there's the script. Practice. So they now imitate what they've done, and then you could get them to go and practice it again, and practice it again, and practice it again until you're happy with. Yeah. So that's how that basically works. Presentation, explanation, demonstration, practice. That bit is. Have you ever been on a course and learned something? Why are we learning that? What's the point of that? The purpose of a trainer then, to ensure that the training at advanced communication, NLP, advanced relaxation, hypnotherapy, and directional therapy, that was what I called HMS first, is in a safe, secure and fun, challenging testing environment that allows delegate to experience and facilitate change. So having a purpose to what you're doing is like, what is your purpose? Right, to train therapists. To train therapists in a safe environment, making it fun, testing, and getting people to where they need to be, whatever your course is going to be. The intent of a trainer to ensure is basically the same. So your intent is that your purpose is to get that that training environment, making sure it's done in a safe environment, making sure that the clients feel relaxed, warm, welcome, to get that rapport with them. Preparation, principles of a trainer. So, first of all, is preparation. So what do we do this earlier? We set this out, put a chair here, make sure your classroom is ready to go. Practice. Practice the night before, go through your lessons, make sure you know what you're talking about. Last thing you're going to do is waffling or going into. Having a PowerPoint presentation will keep you on track. Also be aware of timings, because when you're in trainer state, which I'm going to talk about later, when you're in trainer state you can tend to sort of drift into conversations that are sometimes important. They need to come up, but remember, you've got a curriculum to teach in so much time. If you're doing it on evenings, you really haven't got time to waffle. You've got to get to the point and get on with the next thing. Research and rehearsals. Make sure you research what you're talking about. Last thing you do is that, like, I've taught people like Jake Wellens who've been on an NLP practitioner training before, and if I was teaching rubbish up in front of the room, he's already done his master prac, so he knew quite an advanced level of NLP. So make sure your slides are right, and if you're not sure, go on YouTube. There's so many videos out there, and just model what someone else has taught.
Yeah. And does that include, sorry mate, research? Can you back up all of the theory you've got that underpins your practice.
If you look in my manual, the practitioner manual that I've emailed you,
Yeah.
if you look at the back of it, it's got all of the references there.
Epistemology.
Yeah.
Mm.
Everything I've taken, I've just called it references. That's it.
Yeah.
I've just gone everything I've taken there, whether it be the NLP communication model, Bandner and Grindler,
Yeah.
and make sure that's in there.
Or Heart Math Institute.
Or Heart Math Institute.
Any of that stuff that any of that theory that you're using.
Yeah,
to
it's a quote because
yeah.
you're paying reference, and if you create stuff like at some point you reference, you can reference me, you can reference Tad James with timeline therapy, or mixed up with Synergy Affiliates with some of the stuff that he's done in the past, and it's just paying compliment to what's gone before, because how did we get from A to B? Well, it wasn't just this void here. There's all these lots and lots of models that we use to get to where we are.
Yeah, and some people might want to know, because some people have got that, like they really are like that.
You've only got what people in the room and how people. That's it breaks down into.
Yeah.
And your how people would just look at what you're doing and copy it. The what people want to know how you got from A to B, and they want to know the journey, and they want more information and more detail.
Yeah.
And they won't just get, oh right, just copy me now, right? Because I've tried that in courses before, and you've got to make sure they. That's why your manual, if you follow the script, if you've got scripts in the room, then that's basically all the what that they need. Read that script and have references at the bottom of it.
Yeah.
If they want to know how.
And that's what.
That's the what. That's the what.
What is it? What?
Yeah, that's the what, and then the how people will. If you break down people into two groups, you've got what people and how people. What people need lots and lots of detail, tend to be mainly AD, and your how people tend to be your visual kinesthetics, which are quite happy with just the visual demonstration. Right, go off and practice that as a script, and they probably add their own little style in there, their own little thing. But what people stick to exactly the way you've taught them.
Yeah.
So if you don't give enough detail to a what person, they're going to struggle on it. With a how person, they tend to fill in the gaps themselves. So your VK people.
Is that the right way around?
Visual kinesthetic people tend to be more how orientated.
Do they?
Yeah, because you can just say right.
But doesn't how insinuate like how does that work?
I know what you're saying, but a how motivated person will be like they'll know how to do it.
Okay.
They'll innately know how to do it.
Oh, okay.
A what person will not just.
They'll be like, what's that and what's that and what's that.
Yeah, you could look at that. I know how to do that. I know.
Where did that come from?
Yeah.
Okay.
Positive attitude with passion. Yeah, there's nothing worse than someone who's like, oh God, like you can see how passionate I am about teaching this. I'm on fire when I'm teaching this stuff, right? And excited about teaching it. It's great passing on knowledge, and then seeing people come back and get results. When you get your first practitioners ring you up and they've had their first clients, that is a buzz.
Oh mate, yeah.
That's such a buzz, because you've taught them and you've created employment. How cool is that?
Yeah.
And they're not reliant on you. They've gone out and they've attracted their own client at their own place. They've been paid. When I spoke to Jake Wellington a week, and I said, how much are you charging now for your breakthrough days? He changed it, he goes $5.50. I went, you cheeky git, I'm not even charging that. Awesome. I was going to put my prices up. I said, there's no way you're better than me, so I put my prices up. And the thing is, you buzz off that. He's getting employment from the skills that I taught him, and that is a buzz. So relaxation. Get relaxed, because if you're relaxed, they're relaxed. How many times I see people just sat forward like this, reading a script, let that colour, and it's just, get yourself relaxed, have it on your knee, get yourself nice and chilled. You have to follow it word for word, stick to the script, but nice and chilled. The more relaxed you are, the more relaxed they are.
Get to know the script so you can do it. I can do spectrum without a script now.
Yeah,
Because I've done it so many times, it's just there. So it's like, doing that, I'll do that with that as well. Yeah. It'll be like...
You've got... Well, it's the same with counselling, isn't it? Do you have a script for counselling, or is that rapport? When you're getting rapport with people, get rapport with your classroom. So doing an exercise on the Monday morning when they've all turned up, they're all sat in their seats. Do an exercise with them that sort of breaks that rapport by getting them to introduce each other, by asking them questions, what they're proud of, who they are, why they're on the course, what do they want to achieve. All those great questions, just opening up who they are, and get them then to introduce each other, and that's a great little icebreaker And that there will get reported, and also as you as a trainer, you then get to learn all their characters and also their names stick in your head.
Yeah.
You've got Monday morning, say you've got 5 practitioners on the course, never met before. You want to get to know them really quickly and remember their names.
Yeah, that's important. And I'm shit at it, but I'm going to get good.
I know, but when you do that exercise, for me, I'm terrible at names as well. I remember all of their names because I've been given a map into their world. Yeah. And it brings them alive. So trust, number 8, trust. Trust your journey. Tell your stories. I was working with this client the other day and I had this amazing result. Can't wait to share it with you. By you being like that in the room, by telling your journey. Say about the therapy you did when you was on your practitioner training. Go, God, I remember doing my practitioner training and I was so nervous and this happened and that happened. Share your journey and your journey will be just as amazing. Safety and security. Like when I'm working at yoga centre, safety wise, I do a fire brief at the beginning. I said, right, because we're upstairs in the top room, there's a fire ladder at the back. Need to point out all that. If the alarm goes off, where do we all go? Turn your phones up. Security wise, you know, you want to make sure like you haven't got people barging into that room. I've had that before. Put a note on the door saying therapy and process or whatever, and just, you know, make them feel. Make sure the room's warm for the kinesthetics. If the seats are hard and they don't have cushions on them and all that stuff, make sure everyone's relaxed and that they're comfy. Because if they're not, you're going to get complaints from the AD people won't complain, but the VK people will be like, hey, this is...
Or if they're not comfortable, they're not going to be relaxed and they're not going to be learning.
They won't. Sense of humour, have fun all week, you know, really break the ice, because there's going to be, you know, on your training, like, there's going to be highs and like a roller coaster, but keep the sense of humour going all week. Methods of a trainer. You've got uptime state and you've got downtime state. Uptime state is pretty much how I'm teaching now, so it's pretty much like this. You're a bit more animated in your approach, bit more high energy, quite positive, and your tones are quite high and loud and sort of more animated in the way you describe things. Downtime state is where I'm about to do it, right, I'm going to show a demonstration and intervention now, so you want to quiet everything down. Might need to turn the projector off. I have a chair set out. Does anyone in the room now like to see would like to experience HMS therapy? Someone puts their hand up. Brilliant. Would you like to come out and sit here? Would you like to come out? We should. They sit down. I get myself into a nice relaxed state. Going into a downtime state. Just allow myself to relax. And let all my speech start to get really, really slow. Just bring the energy of the room down. So you're in control of the energy of the room. PowerPoint presentation. Make sure that you utilise your PowerPoint presentation. If you're about to do an intervention, turn it off. Yeah. Make sure you know how to use the PowerPoint. Set your slides up, nice clear fonts for your. The program I use is Canva, which all my slides are created on Canva. And once you've got them, they're there for life. Once you've set up your PowerPoint presentation, you could use that forever until I get bored with some of my slides, so I might put new ones in or whatever. But I've pretty much I love this font. This is my font for New Leaf programs. It's like get a font that's unique to your. It's all branding. It's all advertising. You know, you could put your website at the bottom. So if anyone wants to nick your slides, then they've got to redo them again, or they've got to use your slide and say your brand on it. Yeah. So it's like creating everything that you do is obviously. It's going to be pinched from somebody else, but I mean, I created all the methods of a trainer. This is all stuff that it wasn't taught to me on my trainer's training. This is all stuff that I've taken from the military. Demonstration. Demonstrations need to be, so make sure you have a demo chair next to you, ready to do that. Inclusive learning. This is what I learned from my teaching courses, my awards and education training. Inclusive learning means that you allow organic learning in the room to take place. So you go, right, Phil and Leslie's sat there now, you're going to go work in the corner, and here's an intervention on where do those tennis ball scripts go? How do they somewhere? Right, take that imaginary tennis ball script and go and work in there, and let me know how you get on. Right? So inclusive learning is, you're not even showing them a demonstration, they go off and do it. Probably best to show them a demonstration first. But would someone like to come out and sit on the seat, and I'm just going to do a demonstration now of the tennis ball technique. So I get into the downtime state, I do it, relaxed state. Right now, everyone is going to go away, take the script with you that's underneath your chairs. So first thing in the morning, make sure you place a script there. So it all looks like it's prepared. Go off and do the tennis ball script, and just copy what I've just done. And then let them come back and then go, right, any questions, any learnings, any discoveries? And let them tell their story. Right, remember, you haven't got much time, so if someone's waffling on, you've got to learn how to interject, but without being sort of too sort of dismissive to what they've got to share. And that's inclusive learning. You let them go off and figure it out themselves. Have a little walk round, but don't sort of get yourself involved. Don't try and just let them figure it out themselves. And that's called inclusive learning. Accelerate. Should we shut that door just so it's
I need some chocolate. I'm getting cold. Do you want some chocolate?
Yeah.
Do you want some?
Yeah.
After eight.
Can't turn down the
Yeah,
after eight.
have a few.
Right, one of the
posh stuff around here, mate.
Oh god, they're so good.
I'll put them on there in case you fancy them.
Oh man, I forgot I'll go back to accelerate learning. Oh good. You've heard of accelerated learning, yeah?
When you're relaxed.
Don't put them there because they get all melty.
Oh.
Okay. Keep them chilled.
Straight into the unconscious, is it?
Accelerated learning straight into the unconscious, like so. When people go, can I take notes? Go, yeah, sure you can take notes, but I prefer you not to take notes. It's all in your training manual, you can look at it later. Right, it's the way you're sat now, comfortable, eating chocolates, right? That's accelerated learning. You've taken in more.
Get the conscious out of the way and it all goes straight in.
Yeah. Don't call it tests. Everyone comes back, they've just done the tennis ball technique, they're all sat down. Well done everyone, you've all passed the first stage of your hypnosis training. By going off and doing that on your own now, you're all at the first level of hypnosis. This next one is the next hypnosis script. Well, I won't tell you when that's going to be, but you've all passed the first level, so well done on that. So they've already passed the test and they're like buzzing already. The tests are within the course throughout the week. Then you can say, right, we're going to be testing later. As soon as you test them, right, people that are good at tests are going to pass it, and people that are shit at tests, that are...
You are with their state just by saying you're going to give
them
a test.
Yeah. I never liked tests at school. You know, I call it a quiz, the final written test. We can do a quiz together, and what I do is I go through the whole week. I go, right, name one of your favourite presuppositions of NLP. They can't remember any of them. So we go through them again. Go through them again. It's a quiz.
Yeah.
And they're learning. It's not about testing. A test basically just tests the ADs in the room that are great at recalling information. Fantastic. What about the VKs who are absolutely like myself, who are absolutely hopeless at remembering stuff? Yeah. So if you've been there yourself, I know trainers go, oh, I'm going to put all these tests in there. Yeah, great, but you know, how hard are you making the course? In the day, if you're on the course, you're already good enough to be on the course.
And if people are
you're already a trainer. You're already a trainer because you're good enough to be a trainer. You haven't got to pass anything but to just to teach your lessons. Your pass is to get people. If you can get practitioners through the door paying for your course, you're good enough. That's the validation. Not my certificate.
As soon as you tell someone there's going to be a test
on a financial level, yeah, of course my certificate is good, but but it's you that's doing it.
Yeah.
What were you about to say then? Sorry.
I was saying, as soon as you tell someone there's going to be a test, you take them out of accelerated learning because they start getting
to the conscious, yeah.
And then they're anxious and it's just all gone to shit.
My first test
is the problem with school.
Can they work with someone? So that tennis ball technique is their first test. Every script I give them and then send them off to go and work with, that's the test. Can they do it? They can either do it or they can't. I've got 2 practitioners at the moment who did 5-day training with me, right? Spoke to them last night, tried to do Skype session, it wasn't working, wasn't meant to happen. I just thought, we're not meant to be teaching tonight. They've done all the teaching they need. Just wasn't coming together. I said, right, got public liability? Yes, good. You're certificated, go and get a client. Speak to you next week, go and get a client. So I say next test is to get a client and get them to pay for it, whether it be 20 quid or whatever. You get them to work. So I've set them a task. They've got to go off and get there. The know nothing state. Really important. By going into a know nothing state when you're working with a client, going into a hypnotic state, into your unconscious mind, into the vortex where Abraham Hicks talks about, that sort of state of just being in the moment and working with that client in whatever presents itself. Trainer state is basically the know nothing state. So once you've learned all this stuff, you've learned it, which you already know, by the way, because you're just teaching, all you're going to be teaching after this course is to create mini versions of yourself. Not cloning yourself, but teaching what you know, which you've been doing for years, but in the room. And these slides just complement or mind joggers for yourself to then go, oh yeah, you got to do, oh by the way, you got to do this when you're working, you got to do this. You're just telling them what you've been doing for the last several years. It's recalling all the information that you have inside you. So do you need to learn anything? Not really. As soon as you go into that know nothing state, you're going to be, everything I'm saying now to you is I'm referring back to previous courses or previous people I've worked with.
Which is all in your unconscious memory.
So when I go to a know nothing state, it all comes out, and these just jog my mind. Easy, isn't it?
So know nothing state then is completely relaxed, not thinking about anything, and just allowing what needs to come up, information wise, to come up when it needs to.
Like when you said you felt you needed to say that thing this morning, it was meant to be said. So you can have a sort of loose script of what you want to teach that week, but you don't know what's going to come up in the room.
Yeah, and that's just trusting your unconscious, isn't it?
Yeah, trainer state.
Completely completely confident.
So if I say if you're like nervous before you go, I'll just say go into trainer state, which means put your feet flat on the floor, allow yourself to sit on a chair upright, and just relax. And then just let whatever comes into your mind when you're working. It's almost like channeling, really. You're like channeling like a innate intelligence out to the. I like what's coming to you. It's what's already within you that you're channeling out. You're getting out. I'm trying to get out of this habit like it's outside. It's not. It's in here. It's in your hard drive, and you've got to channel it out. When I used to be like waiting for it to come in, like waiting for this download. It's almost like it's in here. It doesn't lie without it. It doesn't lie out in the ether.
New stuff though feels like it just comes in and goes straight into the top of
my head. No, I do get what you're saying there.
But that's a different thing.
But the more I'm learning, I don't know. The more I'm learning about my heart, the more I'm learning about it's in here.
Yeah.
Because what you're teaching essentially is what your heart has stored over all these years of working with people and all the great clients you've worked with and all the great successes you've had with people.
Yeah.
That's coming out, and you're going.
Yeah.
They all say, speak, talk from your heart.
Which is different to meditation.
The metaphors have been there for years and years.
Yeah. That's different to ideas coming to you, isn't it? When you get an idea, where do you get it?
I don't know. Where does it come from? I think from within.
Do you feel it in here?
Yeah, from the last several years since I've been doing all this work around my heart development, it's all coming from in here. It's all coming from my own innate intelligence. Whenever it's coming from externally, it starts, and it's not. It doesn't sit with that. Yeah, if it's a piece of information that sits right in my heart, then it is coming from an outside source.
Yeah.
But you are.
All this stuff will be inside of you, won't it?
Yeah.
And that is your expression.
Well, look, say for instance, our hearts are literally thousands and thousands of years old because of the DNA intelligence and all of our sort of unconscious programming from previous existences. We've got like thousands of years worth of intelligence there that we're tuning into. Encompassing stuff that's coming from the ether as well, or like also you've got the collective consciousness in the room. So when I'm sat in a room full of 5 really super highly intelligent people, I'm going to sound super highly intelligent because I'm tapping into the collective consciousness. So almost like I'm acting like a conscious brain in front of the room, repeating back to everybody what everyone knows anyway. That's why it sits with them. They go, oh yeah, I'll get that. That's because it's coming from you.
Yeah.
So you almost sound like I'm like tapping now into what you're already thinking. I'm feeding it back to you, so I'm acting like a conscious mind. So you could look at basically as a trainer's training. This is a bit deep, but as like almost a cell of intelligence, and you're like the nucleus feeding it back. That was pretty deep. Yeah. There's no way I would have come out of that last week.
Good. Yeah, that's
good.
So
that's like almost like you're creating a cell of intelligence. A trainer's training, a practitioner training is a cell of intelligence, and you're acting as a nucleus feeding back that higher intelligence source information.
Yeah.
But your source is your source, and also from like say the bigger source, whatever that may be.
Yeah, both.
But hey, it's all just models at the end of the day. That's one thing that I'm quoting Donna on, is that, remember, all of this stuff that I teach is just a model. The only absolute truth that I can really put my hand on is love. It's the only thing that I can go say that's a tangible truth that exists, which binds the whole universe together.
Which no one could disagree with. Yeah.
You know, why are you with your missus? Because I love her. Why do you go to that restaurant? Because I love it. Why do you hang out with your children? Why are you with your children? Because I love them. You know, so restaurant shouldn't have been between one children. Right, but do you get what I'm saying? It's like, you stick with something. Why do you do that job? Because I love it. Why am I teaching this to you today? Because I love teaching it. I buzz off it, and I'm getting paid to do it. So it's a win-win situation. If it's a I win, you lose situation, that's not a cool place to be. If it's a win-win situation, then we know lessons. This is a real simple way. So you got, say for instance, we were teaching the history of NLP. When, so like I've got 10 minutes is the when, so it's the time. Yeah. What is the matter?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is the historic evidence of past accomplishments. How am I going to do it? Explanation and presentation. So when you see me teach in a minute, when I go history of NLP, right? Why? The delegates can research and reference past achievements. So I've put here moral excellence. So I've got Carl Jung, Tad James, Dr. Tad James. I've got Mick Stott. Module 1, why learn NLP? The reason why we need to learn NLP, if you're becoming a HMS therapist or a therapist in your own right going into counselling, learning NLP will allow you to get excellent rapport with any client that you work with really quickly and allow you to get an effective result with that client. What is NLP? It's a set of skills and techniques that allow you to get instant rapport with a client and they get you to understand that person's learning style to get the best result for the client. So, sold.
Yeah.
Sold it to the. So the next slide is what is NLP? I've taken a model from Tony Robbins. Success leaves clues. Go figure out what someone who is successful, someone who's successful did. Model it, improve it, but learn their steps. They have knowledge. So it's modelling excellence. Looking at what someone else has done that's successful, copying it. Then model someone that's failed in some area. Yeah, you're going to have lots of failure yourself, but you've got to look at what someone's done that's successful, and the only thing that will stop you from doing that is your ego. There's been times in your life when you've probably gone, I'm really jealous of what that person's got, and you daren't copy what they did because you're jealous of them, and you wouldn't dare like to admit that actually what they were doing was right, and in the end you tried their system later on and it worked. So if you just done it at the beginning, you'd have got the result. Instead you had to have lots and lots of failure. And then sort of, are you motivated by pain or are you motivated by pleasure? Right. So time, space, matter, energy, perception, identity. So when, where, what, how, why and who. So as trainers now, you really want to be starting to get your head around this, and it's taken me a long time to sort of, and I still, because it's just a model at the end of the day. But for instance, if you take the 5 questions, or what I call like the change questions. The change questions come when we can break all these down and we can come back to this. And no matter what, if you take the 5 questions the way they work within NLP, when you include that into a sentence, so when are you not angry? Right, they're going to come up with a time when they wasn't angry. Right, where was you not an angry person? The space. Right, so the time is obviously a measurement of somewhere. The space is a place, isn't it? It's a place. Perhaps it was. So time was. When I was at school, where was it? When I was in history class. This is off the top of my head. What was it? Oh, I was doing a lesson. I was doing a history lesson on Vikings. I love that. How are we doing it? Well, I was reading it out to the classroom. I'm just making this stuff off the top of my head. Why were you doing it? Your perception to yourself, because I believed I could do it. And who were you? I was me. I was talking about the Vikings. I was loving it. So that's just a random thing, a way of explaining it there. So when these words are put into a sentence, using NLP with like a not pattern, which is the reverse negative of something, then we can really make great difference. We can bring out the sort of like the reverse of the negative behaviour that someone's created for themselves. So for instance, post-traumatic stress disorder, I'm working with a soldier who's come back from Afghanistan who believes he has PTSD, he's been diagnosed with PTSD, he is PTSD. Right? Everything is about PTSD. His friends have got PTSD. The programs he watches are all on PTSD. All he talks about is PTSD. Right. So when were you not PTSD? Oh, when I was at school with my mates, when I used to play football. What time was it? When I was at school with my friends. Where was it? Oh, I wanted to play football. I said, I love playing football. What was it? Matter. Oh, I was playing football. Football's the matter. It's the thing that they were doing. The what, which you asked earlier, weren't you? What is like what we're doing. We're doing a trainer's trust. That's the what right now. How is the energy? Is the energy it takes to do it? How are you going to do it? Well, right, I want you to run a Mexican themed party tomorrow from this room. What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? You'd go out and buy stuff Mexican theme, wouldn't you? And you probably would just be a Mexican theme room.
I'd make a chili as well.
And you make a chili because you know how to do it, and you know how to do it. You're a how person. And what person will go, right, I need my explanation on that. They'll need more matter to make that happen. But going back to the guy with PTSD, right? So, what was it? Football. He loved playing football as a kid. How? Well, he used to be, say, I don't know, he was a defender and he was bloody good at hacking people or whatever. Why? Because he loved doing it, loved playing football. And who was he? He was himself when he played football. See how this breaks down?
You're disassociating him from being...
I'm not disassociating. I'm associating him with himself.
With himself, but disassociating him from
disassociating from the problem,
PTSD.
but associating them with who the fuck they really are, not what their perception to who they think they are. Because it's the perception that we need to change. Does this make sense? Yeah? Sorry for the swearing, but just so many people are out there in this haze of who they think they are when they're not actually. And do you know what our jobs are? Is identifying people with who they really are. It's bringing themselves back to themselves. That's all we are. We're changing people back to who they really are. That's it. You're not having to change. You're becoming the best version of yourself.
Just moving all this crap out of the way.
You're not changing into something new. You're becoming you. Everyone is literally a chrysalis, and we're out there working with all these people, turning them into the butterflies they really are. Not the little cat turds on the floor that they think they are.
That's because of all the shit that they didn't process.
Like these little chrysalis here, we're unlocking it and we're bringing out these butterflies. That's what we're doing. We're literally unleashing the shit that's inside them, so then they can become the best version of